Hello. Today I wanted to focus a little more on something that does impact both older and younger generations, and that is the familial relations between these generations and their impact on the self perceptions of older people. So, first of all, please note that I'm talking worldwide. Um, there are cultural variations in familial relationships. So, for instance, in Asia, the role of filial piety in shaping self perceptions is very significant. Um, in these countries, relationships are guided by the principle of filial piety, a Confucian value emphasizing respect, care, and obedience toward elders. This concept is deeply ingrained in countries like China, Japan, South Korea, where multi-generational households are quite common, and younger generations are expected to provide emotional and financial support for their elders. So, for example, in China, the Confucian ideal of Shao, or filial piety, reinforces the importance of respecting older family members, contributing to a strong sense of self worth among older adults. Studies show that elders in China often derive their self esteem and identity from their role as respected family members and the care they receive from their younger family members. However, as modernization and urbanization accelerate, younger families often migrate to urban regions, leaving elderly parents in rural environments. This separation can lead to feelings of neglect and loneliness among older adults, undermining their self perceptions. In Japan, while traditional respect for elders remains, the declining birth rate and aging population have created sort of a super aging society where younger family members often struggle to balance work and caregiving responsibilities. So, programs like Kodomo Shukudo or children's cafeterias encourage intergenerational interaction and help reduce loneliness and also reinforce elders' perceptions of their social value. In Europe, um, the decline of the traditional extended family and the rise of nuclear households have redefined familial relationships. So countries like Italy and Greece retain strong intergenerational bonds with older adults often living with their children or near their children. However, in Northern Europe, this culture of independence predominates, with many older adults living alone or in senior care facilities. Research in Sweden shows that while older adults value their independence, they often feel isolated due to limited interactions with younger family members. In Southern European families, which emphasize co residency, they report higher levels of elder satisfaction and self esteem, suggesting that frequent intergenerational contact positively influences self perspective. In Africa, older adults are deeply integrated into family life, often acting as the heads of extended households. Their wisdom and life experience are highly valued and reinforce their sense of purpose and social standing. So, for example, in Ghana, elders are considered custodians of tradition and play a central role in family decision making. However, even here, urbanization and migration are eroding these traditional values. So, a study in Kenya found that while older adults who remain in rural areas often feel abandoned by younger family members who are working in urban regions, those who receive regular remittances report a greater sense of continued connection and value. And then there are the Americas. There are diverse family structures and situations in the different regions. So, In Latin America, for example, strong family ties are emphasized, with older adults often living with their children or grandchildren. In Mexico, the concept of familismo, and I hope I pronounced that right, fosters a collective family identity that positively influences elder self perception. In the United States and Canada, the prevalence of individualism and the increasing use of retirement communities create mixed outcomes. Some older adults appreciate the autonomy of living separately, while others feel excluded from family life, which leads to lower self esteem. Programs like intergenerational daycares, where elders and children interact daily, have been shown to improve elders' self worth and to reduce feelings of isolation. I have to say, personally, that wouldn't be for me, but that's just me. There are psychological impacts on older adults. So the positive influences of feeling valued and needed by younger family members can be very, very positive. They boost older adults' self-esteem. They provide a sense of purpose. Grandparents who actively participate in caregiving roles report greater satisfaction and a stronger sense of identity. So, for example, a study in Brazil found that elders who babysit their grandchildren perceive themselves as vital contributors to the family. Intergenerational learning programs where younger individuals help elders navigate technology also reinforce feelings of confidence and self-efficacy in older adults. Unfortunately, feelings of neglect, especially when younger family members are preoccupied with work or technology, can lead older adults to perceive themselves as burdensome. Ageism within families, whether expressed through dismissive language or exclusion from decision making, further undermine their self-esteem. A survey by the World Health Organization found that nearly 60% of older adults feel they are treated with less respect due to their age, even by family members. There are global trends and challenges that impact these relationships. So, for instance, urbanization and migration, these have fragmented traditional family structures, particularly in developing countries. So, in India, rural elders often face social isolation as younger generations move to urban environments for work. Um, Initiatives like India's Adopt a Grandparent program aim to bridge this gap by encouraging urban youth to build relationships with isolated elders. There, of course, are technological gaps, and technology can either bridge or widen generational divides. So video calls and social media do allow families to stay connected across distances. However, older adults unfamiliar with technology often feel left out. Programs that teach digital literacy to elders, such as Japan's Silver Learning Initiative, have proved effective in reducing these gaps. So let's look at some kind of environments that have supported healthy aging, I guess, and intergenerational housing projects, such as those in the Netherlands, like the Humanitas Initiative, where students actually live alongside elders, and these foster meaningful relationships and mutual respect and improve older adults' mental well-being. There's also youth volunteering in Japan. So schools encourage students to volunteer at elder care centers, building intergenerational understanding and reducing feelings of isolation among elders. There are many solutions that we can look at, like promoting these approaches to intergenerational communication. So policies encouraging shared housing or community programs can improve relationships, and these include things like financial support for families caring for seniors. We can also address ageism. So, educational campaigns that foster respect and empathy for older generations can be very positive in increasing the sense of stability, the sense of importance among older generations. Now, we know that familial relationships are an important determinant of older adult self-perceptions. They do influence mental well-being and emotional well-being. So from the strong familial bonds in like Asia and Africa to independence in Western societies, these relationships reflect cultural and societal norms and impact elder health. Positive interactions reinforce a sense of purpose and dignity and respect, but negative or lack of relationships reinforce feelings of ageism and neglect. So let's try to foster independent, let's try to foster intergenerational relationships among families and work as a society worldwide to encourage and ensure that older adults remain valued and important members of their families. If you enjoyed this video, please hit share and like. Please share with those who may be interested. Please subscribe. And with that, I say to be a senior is to be proud. Hugs.